If you ask language learners what makes learning a language difficult, one of the main answers that you will get is that native speakers speak too fast. And although many native speakers do speak very fast, the speed at which they speak is usually not the real problem. If you know how something sounds, and you have heard it many times before, you should usually be able to understand it, even when someone says it very fast. The real problem is that many language learners do not spend enough time listening to real conversations in the language that they are learning, so they never hear how things sound in real life. They might know how a word sounds when it is by itself or when it is spoken very clearly, but they can't recognize it when it is spoken naturally in a sentence with other words. And this is because of something called connected speech. Connected speech is basically doing things like connecting the end of one word to the beginning of the next word. And part of the reason that this can be so difficult for language learners is that we often do this by adding sounds that don't look like they should be there, or by skipping sounds that look like they should be there. So, if you expect things to always sound exactly how they are written, this will make learning a language difficult. So, why do we do this? Is it because we are lazy? No. It's just because this is what happens automatically when you don't try to force a stop between every syllable and every word, and you just let your mouth do what it wants to do naturally. And allowing this to happen makes speaking a lot easier. It also makes your speech sound smoother and less robotic. So what's interesting is that many language learners think that connected speech is a big problem, but in reality, it's actually a really useful tool that makes speaking easier. I'd say that about 99% of the time, saying something with connected speech is easier than saying it without connected speech. For example, what was that? Separating all of the words like that is difficult, wastes time, and makes you sound like a robot. It's a lot easier to say it like this. What was that? Yes, at first it might seem difficult to understand, but all you need to do is spend more time listening to the language. When you listen to the language every day, you will hear things said with connected speech more often than you will hear them said without connected speech. And over time, it will probably become easier for you to understand phrases with connected speech than phrases without connected speech. And I want you to notice that except for in the previous example where I said, "What was that?" I haven't mentioned English at all in this video. This is because connected speech is not something that only exists in English. In fact, connected speech is also a very big problem for native English speakers learning languages such as Spanish, Russian, Italian, Thai, and Arabic. And I would be very surprised if there is any language in the world that doesn't have at least one or two elements of connected speech. We're talking about this today because for the last 2 weeks, I've been making lots of short videos with sentences that have examples of connected speech in them, and I want you to understand why I am making these videos. So, first of all, learning to use connected speech will make speaking easier. Second, using connected speech will usually make it easier for native speakers to understand you, because your speech will sound more like the speech that they hear every day. However, I'm not trying to tell you that you have to speak exactly how I speak in these videos. Anyone who regularly watches my longer videos already knows that I believe that in most situations, speaking clearly is more useful than speaking like a native speaker or speaking naturally. So what I recommend for most English learners is doing something in the middle. I don't really recommend skipping sounds in the middle of words like many native speakers do, but I do recommend learning to link the end of one word to the beginning of the next word, because this will make your speech sound smoother and easier to listen to. And if you'd like to learn how to do that, make sure to watch this video right here. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.